you.
Good morning, friends. Good afternoon, Euro bros. Good evening, Asian friends. Those of you all around the world, I am so thankful that you are joining me today. As always, great way that you can support the channel. An easy way, a free way, is to hit that like button, comment in the comment section. Let me know what you had for breakfast, for brunch, for lunch, for dinner. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed. So, if you have been watching this channel for a while, you know that there is one of two directions that I would be going right now. I'm either going to talk about GameStop or Bitcoin, first things first. And I will be talking about both today. I will mostly be talking about Bitcoin. But where will I start off? Let's see. Mad Money's Jim Cramer has a plan to save GameStop with Bitcoin. All right. This is kind of a joke. It's talking about both GameStop and Bitcoin, but at the same time, Jim Cramer, he gets hated on a lot in Wall Street Bets and everything. I actually would love to see this happen. It's not just that GameStop would buy Bitcoin, but that they would utilize it in some ways. So Mad Money Jim Cramer said on CNBC last week that he believes he has come up with a viable plan to help video game retailer GameStop. He said his idea will fix the company's valuation. The GameStop stock surged by over 100% last week after the company announced that its CFO Jim Bell would resign. His idea is for GameStop to become a dealer in crypto. He noted that is what Square and PayPal are doing, which he initially thought, quote, seemed ridiculous, end quote, but then it was okay. Cramer is the host of Mad Money on CNBC and a former hedge fund manager who co-founded the financial website TheStreet.com. Cramer also pointed out that NVIDIA is coming out with graphics cards for crypto, which is absolutely, there's a way for sure for GameStop to get into things and to increase their valuation is just with graphic cards. Become the spot where you buy graphics cards. And NVIDIA is jumping on this because crypto users, miners, are snatching up all their graphics cards to the anger and frustration of gamers. So here we go. Last night on the unbelievably good NVIDIA call, as a side note, they talked about March. They're going to have some actual cards just for crypto. It really won't be important for NVIDIA, but it could be important for a place like GameStop. If GameStop were to turn itself into a 5,000 store introduction to crypto, make it so that they sell $1 billion worth of the stock and buy crypto with it, and then make it so that it's an international gaming place where you win Bitcoin, I think you can justify the stock price. Now, I'm not going to read any more, but I will say there's plenty of ways to justify the stock price. And Bitcoin could have something to do with it or not, or crypto in general. He's not necessarily saying that this should be a Bitcoin play, but a crypto play. And I think GameStop will do just fine if they don't get into crypto. But at the same time, this is for sure a way that they can push things forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ryan Cohen and the board were thinking of things like that right now. So keep that in mind. I do think that's a good idea. I wouldn't be surprised if they did push in that direction. Now, I am going to go into crypto, and then I'm going to talk about general economic things that have happened over the last weekend. Some significant things have happened for sure. And then at the end, I'll talk a little bit about GameStop. And to be honest with you, to be completely upfront with you, I will be monitoring the price of GameStop like a hawk all day. And if there is any significant price movement, I will be going live on this channel. So keep that in mind. And we'll see what happens. We're up pre-market as of right now. So anyway, crypto. Here is buying crypto for the first time, and I wouldn't be surprised if this was some of you. Anyway, a little funny thing here. I thought it was funny, but all right, here's the deal with crypto, with Bitcoin right now. The reason why I want to talk about Bitcoin first is I know a lot of you have listened to me and jumped in on this, and that's fantastic if you are able to hold through these 30% corrections that will happen throughout the course of the year on our way to at least $200,000 for Bitcoin. And so we just had one. And I just all weekend, I've been nervous about you who've gotten in for the first time because you are the most likely to sell. And I hope you didn't sell. Please tell me. I want you to be honest with me, but please tell me you did not sell. We got down to $43,000, a little under $43,000, and we've bounced back up. And I wouldn't say this isn't as exactly as predicted, but one thing I will tell you is that over and over again on the internet, I kept seeing the same number being said, that Bitcoin's going to go down to $42,000. And I kept that in mind, and I kind of maybe a little bit got swayed by that. But there was one thing for certain in my mind that I knew to be true as everyone was talking about 42,000 being the bottom. And that's this, that $42,000 would not be the bottom. And here we are. There's a wick here that got a little bit under $43,000, and then a whale or a group of whales came in and snatched up all that deliciously discounted Bitcoin, and we're off. Now, are we out of the woods completely? I'm not going to say that, but what a bounce back here. What happened? Smart money. They saw everyone was saying 42. And they saw people like me with my last $400 that I need to convert on BlockFi. I recommend BlockFi, by the way. And there's a referral link in the description. My last $400 that I was going to convert into Bitcoin and Ethereum, I was waiting. I was waiting for it to get to $42,000 before diving in. And the smart money's like, nope, not going to let you get to $42,000. I'm going to jump in at $43,000 and send this rocket off to the moon. And anyway, so I don't care. It's $400. If I get in now at $400 with my $400 that I have remaining of that $20,000 that I invested, it's like, so be it. It's not a big deal. And maybe, Ethereum has also bounced back. It got, I think, under $1,300 yesterday, and now it's in the 1500s. And it's like, maybe I'll put more of that into Ethereum since Ethereum has more room to bounce back here. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. It's like both of these things have recovered quite nicely. I could see it going back down. Again, my guess is that was the bottom, but I don't know. All I'm saying, we saw $58,000 Bitcoin at one point. For me to see $48,000 here, if you're questioning whether you should jump in, yes, now is a great time to jump in. We have not topped out. I cannot stress this enough to you, especially those of you who are new. We have not topped out. Every metric, literally every metric that you could possibly look at, indicates that we are nowhere near the top with Bitcoin. And I am not exaggerating when I say literally, guys, literally every metric indicates that we are nowhere near the top. Let me show you some of these metrics here. All right. What is this? This is the miner net position change. And so what we see here is miners over the last 3 months from December until now have all right, they mine their Bitcoin, and for sure they're going to hold on to much of that. So 900 Bitcoins are 900 Bitcoin are mined a day, and the miners, this chart here shows of that Bitcoin how much of it is sold and how much of it is held. Now, miners for sure are holding some, and other miners for sure are holding all of the Bitcoin that they're mining. But here's a chart showing that over the last 3 months, miners were selling more than they were holding. And that has all of a sudden flipped to this point where miners are holding. So essentially 450 Bitcoin of the 900 that's mined on a daily basis is being held. More than that. And so that means that Grayscale, MicroStrategy, all these other whales, PayPal, Square, Morgan Stanley, Apple coming up soon, all these companies, all these institutions looking to get into Bitcoin, they don't have a pool of 900 Bitcoin to choose from. They have a pool of less than 450 to choose from, aside from all the Bitcoin that's already in existence. But this is going to cause a massive supply crunch and cause the price to go much higher. A metric that I love on this channel, the MVRV Z-score. All right, again, 2013, we saw a blow off double top in 2013, and the Z-score got incredibly hot. And this is a point. You see the Z-score beyond this red zone here. That is a massive selling signal, and it's predicted the peaks very well over the last years of Bitcoin's existence. So December 17th, the MVRV Z-score topped out at 10.03, and that was a signal. 10 days later, Bitcoin peaked, and then it crashed down from a little under $20,000 to $3,000. And where are we now with the MVRV Z-score? We're at a point of 4.79, which I think is near about that point where, all right, it's time to start buying again. It's time to start building up for another rally. In a bull run, especially in a bull run fueled by all of the insanity that's happening right now, that's different from 2017. Yes, 4.7 for the MVRV Z-score is a great time to buy in, without doubt. Other metrics. Here we go. Illiquid supply. I have talked about this a lot on this channel. Illiquid supply. All right, let me read this tweet here. The amount of illiquid Bitcoin supply in the network has grown more than the circulating supply since 2017. In other words, people are holding a lot more than they're selling. And liquid supply continues to see a steep decrease. What is liquid supply here? That is that yellow line, and look at it. It just keeps going down and down. Pair this with the demand from MicroStrategy, Square, Tesla, Grayscale et al., and understand how bullish this is. In 2017, at the peak, this chart looked opposite of what it does now. I mean, we can see it here. The blue line was much higher than the yellow line. And let me show you this chart here again. Illiquid supply. Look at 2017 here. If you see where my mouse is, I'm going to zoom in here. Look at all of that blue. That means that people were moving their Bitcoin off of cold storage and onto exchanges and getting ready to sell. Look at it now. A whole bunch of red. Decreasing liquid supply. We are running out of Bitcoin. You will not be able to buy Bitcoin on Coinbase, on Kraken, wherever else sometime soon. We're also running out of Ethereum. Now, there will always be other crap coins that you can buy, but we're running out. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to read this, just something that I would recommend checking out. Phenomenal data. This is Yan and Jan, Uncharted number 4, Bitcoin Uncharted.substack.com. Whoever these people are, I told you last week that I wanted to pay Glassnode.com for their unbelievable wealth of data, but it costs $799 a month for me to do that, and I'm not willing to do that. And so these people on this website here, Yan and Jan, what I'm guessing they're either Glassnode employees, or they're actually paying $799 a month, and then they just talk about all of this phenomenal data here. And I'm telling you, again, lots and lots of charts on this website. Guys, none of them point to anything near a peak right now. And I just want to drill that into your heads, especially if you bought recently. We are nowhere near the peak with Bitcoin. Nowhere near it. And the peak may look much different this time around than it did in 2017. But there will be a peak, for sure. And when that peak comes, I will be like, hey, guys, it's time to sell very soon. So check them out, Bitcoin Uncharted.substack.com. I mean, look at charts. Look, lots of charts. This is what I love to see. I love to analyze this data. I love to shut out the noise of the world. The CNN saying that, Bitcoin dropped 30% after rising 500%. Oh, we're in a bear market. Nonsense. Look at the charts. Don't look at CNN. Don't look at CNBC. Don't look at all these other people who are saying that we're at a peak. We're not. We're nowhere near the peak. So anyway, here we are. This is where we are in this cycle. So plan B. Who is plan B? If you haven't already, I would encourage you to check out my video made a couple weeks ago explaining the Bitcoin stock to flow model, and to explain to you where I am certain that we are going with Bitcoin. In the middle of this decade, I believe Bitcoin will cross the $1 million barrier. At the end of the decade, I don't even want to say, because there's numbers that for many of you that you are not even willing to comprehend. We will reach a $1 million Bitcoin this decade. Very little doubt in my mind. And so here we go. Bitcoin stock to flow cross asset model S2FX. Now, Plan B is the one. You can follow them on Twitter at 100 trillion USD. Plan B is the one who came out with the stock to flow model, which predicted somewhere around that the Bitcoin value should be around somewhere around $100,000 throughout the next 4 years until the next halving in the next bull cycle. They have updated that given other factors, given coronavirus, given all of the insanity with stimulus and with the Federal Reserve, but not only in the United States, but all around the world. They have updated that price for this cycle from $100,000 to $288,000. That is where Bitcoin should level off after all of this, after this cycle is over. So we have a lot more room to grow. And look at this. I mean, like he says here, like clockwork. February closed at 45,240. January closed at 33,141. Look at this orange dot here. Look at it 4 years ago, right around the same place. Look at it 8 years ago, right around the same place. This is going like clockwork. Everything that I have read, everyone that I have listened to this point has been absolutely 100% right as to where we are going. Now is a great time to get in, and if you don't get in now, you will miss out. Other news, Michael Saylor tweeted this 12 minutes before I started making this video. MicroStrategy again has purchased more Bitcoin. Shocking. $15 million in cash at an average price of $45,710 per Bitcoin. Do what the whales are doing. They see this cheap Bitcoin and they're like, we're in. Oh, hey, average price. So they were, before they raised another $1 billion to buy, I think, around $52,000 per coin. Their average was $15,000 per coin. Now their average price is $24,000 per coin. They don't seem to be to care about any potential Bitcoin crashes coming up, because those Bitcoin crashes are not coming up. And you know why they're not coming up? Because of insanity like this. This is insane. And the insanity has been bipartisan. I assure you of that. House Dems pass Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief package. So every American who makes under $75,000, or every married couple whose combined income is under $150,000, will be getting an additional $1,400 per person, including children, according to this COVID relief package. Now, this still needs to pass in the Senate, which might get a little tricky, not necessarily because people want this relief to come in, but because this package includes here a $15 minimum wage hike. And let me tell you something right now. I am not in favor of a drastic minimum wage hike like that. I think minimum wage hikes in general in smaller portions are okay. I would say let the market do what it does, but that's just how I roll. But a $15 minimum wage hike is crazy. It's going to cause, here's the thing where Democrats, this is brilliant by the Democrats. If they can get this passed, they can do the things that they have been dreaming of for years. So $15 minimum wage hike, what that will do is it will cause lots of people to lose jobs, which will then create more dependency on the system, which will then allow the Democrats to act with more so-called compassion, which is just stupid, but they can act with more compassion and pass more relief and cause people to be more dependent on the federal government, which is absolutely what they want. And so if this passes, all of the Democrats' wildest dreams will come true, and people will become more dependent on the government. And so what do we get here? So I have a wife and 5 children, 7 of us. 7 times 1,400 is what, 8,400? Am I right on that? I don't think that's right. $9,600. I'm going to get $9,600. And if I'm understanding this correctly, I will also get $1,400 a month between July of 2021 to June of 2022. Democrats want to make this permanent. They want to give me $300 per child under the age of 6 and $250 per child over the age of 6 into perpetuity, which I will take that. I will invest it in crypto. I will put it on BlockFi to get 6% returns on my Bitcoin. And then I will give them a wad of Bitcoin worth insane amounts of money when they're old enough. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm stealing from them by taking this money. And okay, I'll steal from them and then give it back to them. I'll be their Robin Hood, Sorry. Acid in the ears, I know. I'm not talking about Robin Hood the app. I'm talking about Robin Hood the hero. So this is happening, and I could see this getting rejected in the Senate because Republicans are going to stand strong in voting against this. It's 50-50 in the Senate, so they need all 50 Democrats to vote in favor of this. A few Democrats are not in favor of this, including Joe Manchin of West Virginia, who is much more of a centrist than anyone else. And so it depends on him. It depends on someone like Susan Collins in Maine. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if this passes, oh my goodness, flee the dollar. Just run away. All right, another thing here. This is just an indicator of where we're going, and this is unbelievable. Look at this. This is the chart. This chart is interest rates over the last 40 years, and we are meeting a point where we are either going to have to increase interest rates, or we're going to have to go to negative interest rates. And what are negative interest rates? They are going to have to convince us, like literally, that this is a good thing, that the money that we have in our banks in the United States, that if interest rates are negative, that it could be one of these things where they'll actually take a little bit out of our bank accounts on a monthly basis. It's either that, or rates have to stay flat, or rates have to increase. And so here is this person's thesis statement here. Let me click on this. There are only 2 choices, inflation or deflation. Across the line to higher rates lies deflation. The value of the dollar increases, over-leveraged companies go bankrupt, people lose jobs, the market falls as the price of debt gets more expensive, people lose retirements, and we pay for the sins of 40 years of easy money. All right, let me zoom out again. This is the sin of 40 years of easy money. Just keep on decreasing rates, decreasing. I remember working in the mortgage industry. The garbage men are beeping at my kids right now. I don't know if you can hear that. Working in the mortgage industry, I saw this, and I saw people saying, they're going to increase rates soon. Blah, 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 blah. They're going to increase rates soon. And you want to know what that increase was? Here was that increase of rates. 40-year run in bonds is over. Wait, we lose everything if yields normalize. Deflation doesn't feel good. We got to pump our way out of this like all the other central banks and back below the line. This was pretty much the first time over the last 40 years that we tried to go over the line. We couldn't stay over the line, and we pushed back. Whenever we try to go over this line, it is not going to be pretty in the stock market. And so plan accordingly. I think Bitcoin is fantastic to deal with this. And there will be a time very soon when you will need to flee from the stock market. Where does this line meet the baseline here? I'm thinking that looks like around what? This is awful. 2030. 2030 or so, we're going to meet some kind of doomsday scenario where we will need to suffer for what? 50 years. 50 years of 50 years, what's the exact words here? 50 years of easy money. So Montague Norman, governor of the Bank of England, convinced Winston Churchill that something like this was the best path in the 1920s. Churchill will later say it was the worst mistake of his political career. Every central banker and politician on the planet has chosen inflating asset prices and cheaper money for the last 40 years. It's unsustainable. This can't go on. To think they have the courage now to stop is to deny the first rule of politicians and bankers: never lose power. They know they lose power if they take rates higher and choose deflation, so I think they will choose the unknown of negative rates and tell people it is good for them, while our lives become even worse than today. This is our future. No matter the direction that we're going, the future looks bleak. Your time is short. You need to act accordingly now and prepare for the time when we can no longer coast on easy money. Oh man, it is going to get bleak. Bitcoin is not easy money. Crypto in general is not easy money. It's not manipulated by these world governments, and in many ways is the solution to this manipulation. But oh man, is it going to be painful between now and then. Between now and the day when things stabilize, because of the power being taken away from governments, which it will be. I have debated in my mind over and over again, will this power, fiat currency is power, will it be taken away from the governments because of this revolution with crypto? And honestly, I truly believe that the answer is yes, that it is enough of a disruptor that it cannot be stopped by governments no matter how hard they try to stop it. Nigeria is trying to stop it right now, and they're like the canary in the coal mine. And they're 5 years ahead of other governments that will soon realize how unstoppable crypto is. But sign of the times. Lumber prices hit record high. Home builders urge Biden to intervene. This is just one of many examples of where things are going. Look at lumber prices over the last, over the last 5 years, 6-7 years. Slowly increased, decreased, and then we've shot off like a rocket. And what is this? This is a true indicator of inflation. Now, there's going to be, there are two ways to look at inflation. One is you can believe what the government tells you, and the other is that you can actually take a long, hard look at commodities which have reached a point here. Like copper, silver is still too heavily manipulated, but silver might do something here. Gold, platinum, all of these things, and lumber, another one, that these prices are shooting off like crazy. And so the cost for housing in the United States, the cost of building a new house is going to increase dramatically over the years. And that's going to cause people to abandon, in general, I think, building new houses. And what are they going to do? They're going to buy already built houses, which is going to cause the price of those houses to go up. Now, I do think that there's going to be a lot of foreclosures with unemployment, etc. But this is where things are going. And commodities in general are a good indicator of where things like food prices will end up going and things like that. So it's coming, and as things get more expensive, crypto will also get more expensive. So let's take a look at GME. Brief look. All right, we were up to, highest I saw was around 108. We're at 105 pre-market. Honestly, guys, I do expect something to happen soon, and for this price to shoot up. Just to shoot up. I'm not going to say $100,000 is not a meme. I'm going to be more reactionary here. but something is brewing. And I'm excited to still have my shares. I'm excited for the ride. We'll see. We will see. When is that going to happen? I don't have a crystal ball. Weeks, months. We need to be prepared for the possibility that this could be a year. I hate to say it like that. I don't think so, but we'll see. Let me read a post from Wall Street Bets, and then this is going to be it for now. So we've already seen how badly the markets did as GME suddenly did incredibly well last week. Hedge funds and shorters of GME had to liquidate other investments in order to do their aggressive short ladder attacks on GME. Yet with all the action around GME and with the current state of the world, if GME does moon, many other stocks will come crashing down as shorters are forced to cover their positions. And this is how hedge funds will win no matter what happens. Okay, we need to accept that hedge funds are going to win here, but we're going to win more. They've already set up GME to take off with how much aggressive shorting has been happening. When the GME rocket takes off, they'll hold shorts on other stocks while holding calls on GME and make huge money off all market activity. And while GME moons, retail traders and other hedge funds and investors that got on the GME rocket will win big time. Yet at the same time, many of the rest of the stocks will crash, causing many to lose big time. I'm not entirely sure that this is going to cause other stocks to crash as much. There was a time that I was very afraid of what would happen to the economy if GameStop did have this infinity loop. But I'm not as concerned anymore, to be honest with you. But anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if enough insider trading is happening to have a planned date for when GME will take off so that they can time the markets perfectly and make sure as few retail traders are on the rocket as possible. So we'll see. We will see what happens moving forward. That is it for today. Again, if anything crazy happens with GameStop, I will go live throughout the day later on today. But until then, thank you so much for making me a part of your day. I hope you have a great week, a profitable week, and I will most certainly be seeing you tomorrow. So, see ya.